Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a necklace using products from the Bargain Bead Box September 2020. So this is like the fourth or fifth piece of jewelry that I've done, and I've still got a bunch of beads left. So today we're going to do a tassel. And if you know me, if you've watched my videos any length of time, you know I have never met a tassel that I did not love. So we're going to do a necklace and earrings. Time permitting, we'll add the earrings. But if you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, it is a monthly subscription service. They send beads and findings. You get about $65 to $70 worth of product for $17.95 a month, and that is shipped straight to your door. So it is a great deal. Also, with your subscription, you also get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store, and you can use that over and over and over all month long. So Bargain Bead Box, I've got to say, I love them. They're my favorite beading subscription service. I think you get more for your money with them than any other beading service that there is. So, anyway, yeah, I love them. So if you're interested in subscribing to Bargain Bead Box, I'll have the information in the description box below, and you can use coupon code Wendy2 to get $2 off your first box. All right, so let's get that out of the way. Now, today, if you want to make this tassel, I'm going to show you exactly what you need. First of all, you're going to need a ring of some sort. So this is just a rose gold colored ring from my stash. We're going to use that. You're going to need several jump rings. And, you know, I may end up pulling more out even than that, but that's what I have picked out of my little pile over here. You're going to need two larger jump rings to attach some chain. You're going to need two, and these are fancy jump rings. These are like some little, let's see if I can get it to focus. Little fancy jump rings, and I'm using one to attach my tassel to my chain and the other one to attach for my lobster to close on. You're going to need your lobster claw or whatever closure you choose to use. I always use a lobster. You're going to need a bunch of crimp beads and a bunch of little crimp bead covers. Now the ones I'm using here, see if I can get this. Okay, they are like a side, if you can see there, the crimp bead goes into the side. It doesn't have the hole in the bottom, and then you close them. But they're teeny tiny, and that's the reason I'm using these. You can use the regular clamshells. That is no problem at all. I'm only using these because they were a little bit smaller and therefore wouldn't be, excuse me, as prominent on my necklace. Okay, so that's why I'm using that. You're going to need a bunch of chain. So I've got two types of chain here. This is what I'm going to use to hang the tassel on. I've got a rose gold Rolo and a red copper, just a tiny little, I don't know what that kind of chain is called, but I've got these two chains. And then you're going to need a bunch of other lengths of chain. So these right here are 27 inches, these bigger ones. I've got them cut to 27 inches, and my camera is really being difficult trying to focus and stuff. So the other lengths of chain that you're going to need, I've got these cut at, where's my ruler? Right at about 3.5 inches. And I've got just several different, I use the same Rolo chain that I'm using in the big pieces. And I've got they're all the same length. Okay, so I've got 3 of those. This is the chain that came in the Bargain Bead Box this month. I've got 2 of those, and then I've got 2 of this smaller gauge or smaller link size chain. Okay, so you're just going to need several lengths of chain. You can make it as long as you want. This is going to be your tassel. You don't have to do it as long as mine, or you can do it longer. I love tassels. The bigger, the longer, the sparklier. Yeah, I mean, you just can't go wrong. I love them. So you're going to need a bunch of lengths of chain, all right? And then you're going to need your beads from the Bargain Bead Box. So I am using the garnet beads, the little tiny garnet rondelles. I'm using these really cool hex beads that they put in there. And I'm using the bicones. And I'm using the coin beads. I've already got these strung up, and I'll show you here in just a minute how to do that. But I'm using the rest of the coin beads that were in my box, and that's all I have of them. Okay, so I've already strung up most of my little sparkly tassel pieces because it's like watching paint dry to sit here and watch me string these, especially these little garnet ones. They are so hard to see the holes in that it takes me forever. But I have three. I made three with the garnet, and these are all 3.5 inches long, the same length as my little chains. I had enough to do one with the coin beads. I did one with the hex beads and two with the bicones. Okay, I'm just going to lay these up here with my chain, and I'm going to show you how I strung these up, okay? So that's what we're going to do next. And then to string them on, you're going to need, I'm using this Berkeley monofilament. It's 6 pound. The reason I use this, I do not like Fireline for tassels because I feel like it's too stiff. And you see how supple this is, and it just bends and moves and sways. I feel like if you use Fireline or anything else, really, I guess you could use regular beading thread, like the fluid kind. I don't like to use that stuff. I can never get it threaded on my needle, and then it's just a pain. I prefer this monofilament. So that's what I'm going to use to string up, and I'm going to show you how I string up my last one here. Okay, so let me make sure that I have all my hex beads that I have. I ran out. I love these hex beads. Love them. And so I ran out of them. I'm just making sure I didn't drop any in the floor here real quick before I get started, because it never fails. I do something, I have used the very last bead that I had, and then I find one in the floor later, one lone bead. So, all right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your monofilament, and I know it's hard to see, but it's here. And you're going to string on your beads. So I don't have enough hex beads to do 3.5 inches. So I'm going to do some bicones and put the hex beads in the middle. And I'm just going to mix it up a little. And I'll lay one of these out here, and this is what I will judge my length by. So let me get that out of the way. Okay. So I'm just going to string on 3 or 4 bicones, probably 4 here. 3. And I've still got the monofilament attached to the roll. I haven't cut the piece off. I'm just stringing them right on. So there's 4 bicones. Let's do the hex beads now. 1, 2, 3. See, watching me string the garnets would have been way worse because they're so tiny. And these hex beads are a lot easier to do. Okay, so let me measure this now. So if I put 4 more bicones on that end, that's definitely not going to be even. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my monofilament down here. I'm going to add another bicone to this end. Okay, and now let me measure. Probably by the time I do 5 bicones on this end, it'll be about even. So let's try it and see. I can always add more if I need to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more, and then we'll measure. Okay, let's scoot these out of the way. And I'm 1 bead short, it looks like. So I'm going to add 1 more bicone to each end and hope that doesn't make it too long, but I want it to be even. I don't want there to be more bicones on one end than the other, so let's just do that. And hopefully it'll not be too long. We'll check here in a minute. I mean, there's a little room for a little leeway there. They don't have to be exact because it's, you know, it's a tassel. It's going to hang. Yeah, that looks like it'll be okay. So what I'm going to do to finish it is I'm going to take my little crimp bead, put it right here on the end of the monofilament, and I'm just going to crimp it closed. Now you can use crimp bead covers if you feel like you need to. I don't think in a tassel, I just crimp it down really tight. I don't think that it is noticeable enough to need a crimp bead cover. I mean, you've got so much going on with your tassel anyway that I don't do that. So, but if you feel like you want to, you definitely can. And I thought I had 2 crimps out here, but I'm only seeing 1. So let me pull out another one. I need 1 more. Okay, here we go. All right, so for the other end, now, one thing that's important with this is you want this to have room to move. You want it to be kind of fluid and bendy. You do not want it too tight. So don't crimp this down to where it's going to be like poking out like a straight needle, okay? You want it to be you want it to have movement, or it's not going to make a pretty tassel. So we're going to put our second one on here. And then the way I do this is I kind of drag it across my bead mat to make sure all of my beads are laying together. And then I make sure there's just a tad bit of space there, but not a huge, I mean, you don't want a big gap, but you just want enough room for them to move. So see now how this can move? And then I just crimp it down really good, like that. I cut the monofilament. And then I take my this little bead thing, clamshell, and I just lay it in there. And I make sure that it's kind of centered in there in the middle. And then I just take my pliers and I close it right up. Okay, and it's the perfect little way to hang these tassel pieces. So now I've got all these beautiful sparkly tassel pieces. There's my other crimp bead. All these beautiful sparkly tassel pieces and some chain. And it's going to make a beautiful tassel. So let me get these crimp beads out of the way. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I've got all these jump rings here and my main ring that I'm going to hang these from. And there's some extra bicons. Okay. So I'm going to take my jump rings and I'm just going to hang all of my tassel pieces and all of my chain on this ring. And you can do it in whatever order you want. It's totally up to your own creative control. But I try to even things out a little. So like if I put a piece of chain, then I'm going to put a sparkly piece and then a different piece of chain. I try not to clump, you know, all the chain together or whatever. So I'm just going to grab a piece here. And I love to mix rose gold and copper. I think it looks beautiful mixed together. I just think it's so pretty. Okay. And another thing you want to do is you want to make sure you don't use huge jump rings for this. Use the size, like if you can see, I could not have gone a whole lot smaller with this ring. I have some smaller jump rings. I've got these little guys. But if I put that on this ring, it's probably not going to have room for movement and slide very well. And you do want it, you don't want it to be all bunched up. So I wanted to make sure that I don't use like a huge jump ring, but I use one that, you know, gives it some movement and some room to just freely slide around on here. See? And then I'm going to put the garnet piece. Okay, and then I'll probably add on another piece of chain, a different one than the last one I did. We'll use this copper one. It's the smaller gauge copper one. Okay. And then I will probably, let's do one of these big guys, these big sparklies. I can get that to go through there. There we go. Okay. I'm going to use a piece of the rose gold chain next. Okay, we'll go with another garnet piece. I have not made tassels in a long time. I was doing them all the time, but just because I love them so much. When I saw this box in these colors, I was just like, oh my goodness, I really want to do something with tassel, a big tassel, because I have a lot of, I wear a lot of this burgundy color in the fall, and I just thought these colors would be so pretty with a lot of the clothes that I have. So I went with it. I am going to need some more jump rings. I kind of ran out of this size. Here's a couple more, I think. Yeah, good. I have a bunch of the smaller ones, but I didn't have too many more of these medium-sized ones. Let's go with another copper tassel piece. And then I've got a couple, I think I'm going to stick this bicone piece down on this end because I just don't want it to be too close to that one. Sometimes if these little clamshells, if you don't get the pieces lined up exactly right. They're kind of hard to get your jump ring through, but it will go. Okay. Looking pretty. Alright, so next, what do I want to do next? Let's do a piece of rose gold chain. And the next garnet piece, let me find some more jump rings up here. May have to go with a couple of the smaller ones. Okay, I think we'll put the garnet piece on next. Right here. Whoops. Okay, and then I'm going to do this one. Okay, and a couple more jump rings. Please let me have a couple more jump rings this size. My red copper findings stash is very minimal, and I'm realizing with this bargain bead box that I need to drastically beef it up. Just don't hardly have any red copper findings. I love red copper. I don't know why I don't buy the findings in that color, but I just haven't, so I'm gonna have to start. Alright, there's this one. I'm going to use this red copper one last, and then I'm going to put that green, the one with the green coin bead, somewhere in the very middle. So I kind of saved it for last because it's the only one. I didn't have doubles in it, and so yeah, I'm going to try to put it kind of towards the middle. Alright, I think that jump ring's bigger than the rest of them, but it'll probably be okay. Okay, so there's our tassel. Now I'm just going to hang him somewhere in the middle. Let me find one more jump ring and we're good to go. Okay, here's one. Alright, so I'm just going to pick a spot kind of in the middle and just stick him in. Okay. Alright, so there we have it. Ooh, I love it. I love tassels. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 pieces of chain and I am going to line them up, and I'm going to take this jump ring right here and I'm going to jump ring them together right here on this end. Rose gold on first, and then this red copper one. Just like this. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm just going to add this piece on. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go all the way down the length of it, and I'm going to line the other 2 up and do the exact same thing. I'm just going to put this on. The last links on both, and you need to measure to make sure that they're the same length and they line up. And then I'm going to put this jump ring on, the smaller one, and then I'll open this up and add my lobster to it. Okay, just like that. So now I've created a double chain necklace. And now all I'm going to do is take my jump ring, my tassel. Now what I do have to do is make sure this is going to hang right. It will. Okay. You want to make sure that your jump ring hangs the right way so that your tassel is going to lay flat against your body and not sideways. Close this up. And there we have it. So I really love tassels, obviously, and I love the way this turned out. The colors are just gorgeous. So now I've got everything getting tangled up here. And I know everybody might think it's kind of silly, but I like this double chain. I just think it's pretty. So I will put this on a form in a minute, but let's go ahead and do the earrings. So I've pulled out, these are some really cool head pins that came in the Adornable Elements Beads of the Month club last month, and I love them. So we're going to use these for the earrings. I've got some pieces of chain here, just like I did for the other earring, or for the necklace. I don't know how long, they're like 1.5 inches. They're not very long. I'm not doing the earrings nearly like lengthwise like the tassel. And I'm actually just going to put the beads from the earrings on head pins. I'm not going to try to do them on the monofilament because that would be just really fiddly and tiny hard work. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to string them right on a head pin. So let me get my everything out here because I got it all mixed up in my pile of jump rings accidentally. But you're going to need the same beads, your garnet beads, your bicones, and I don't have any more of the coin beads. I wish I did, but I ran out of those already, so it won't have any coin beads on it, but that'll be okay. You're going to need head pins. You're going to need a couple of rings, and I'm using the same rings that I used on the necklace there. And then you're going to need some ear wires. So this is going to be super easy. All we're going to do is string up. So I have 6 of these guys, so I'm going to string 3 onto this head pin, just like this. I like these little decorative things on the ends of the head pins. They're really cute. I'm going to bend it at a 90-degree angle. I am going to cut it and roll a loop back. I'm getting tangled up in this monofilament. It is everywhere. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay, it's on my foot. It's all over the place. Okay, so there's one. I do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Roll a loop back. Okay, so there's 2. Then I'm going to do, let's see, I've got 6 bicones. I'm going to do 3 on one. Actually, I have more bicones. I'm going to do 4 on one because that'll make them about the same. Yeah, we want them to be about the same length. They don't have to be exact, but you want them to be close. So I'll do 4 bicones on this one. That loop turned out kind of weird. We'll do 4 bicones on this one. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then let me look at my garnet beads here. These are so hard to see the little holes in. I hope I can do this without too much trauma on everybody's part. I may have to pause the video. I'm telling you, I have a terrible time with these little holes in these things. They're awfully hard to see. Okay, so there's one. And sometimes I try to lay them down on the mat and see if I can see them, but I still can't. They're just really hard to see the holes in these because they're such dark little beads and they're so tiny. But I think I'm going to do, I don't know, I don't have any more of the garnets. So let me see how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll do 5 on each head pin. And that'll finish me off for these little garnet guys. There's 3, 4, and 1 more. This one's tiny. I hope he'll go on. He did. Okay, so 5 of them. 90 degrees. Roll your loop back. Okay, and put these other 5 on here. Oops, I don't want to do them on that one. Where's my other head pin? Oh, it's up here. Okay. This one seems thicker. This head pin does, so hopefully they'll go on here. I may have to trim it down a little. Yeah, this head pin's thicker than all the others were. That's not good for my garnet beads. And this is the last one I've got of these. So let me see if I can get it to work. I might try to cut this at an angle. Let me move it, cut it down here a little bit. It seems thicker at the top. Okay, maybe this will work. Oh my goodness, why is this one so much thicker than the other ones? This may not work then with the garnet beads. I may have to get a different head pin. That one went. Okay, 1. This head pin, why is it so? The others were fine. I'm afraid I'm going to poke my finger and that's going to hurt. Okay, so 1 garnet bead goes on, none of the rest will. That is really bad. Okay. And I can't really cut it down anymore. It's not going to make a difference unless I cut it way down to here anyway, I don't think. Can't believe that. That helped that one go on. Yeah, it was just a thicker gauge than all those other head pins for some reason. Yep, okay, well, here's what we're going to have to do. That one's not going to be able to match the rest of them. I'm going to have to redo the garnet. I hate that. I hated to waste these 2 head pins, but I don't have any choice. You can't have, you know, they can't be different on each one. So let me see if I have a couple of rose gold head pins. I don't even know if I do. Goodness. That threw a kink in the whole works, didn't it? I didn't expect that. Because they worked fine for the other ones, so I just assumed. Well, I do have some thin rose gold, sort of rose gold, not really, but eye pins. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go 1. This is what you do when something like that happens. So 2, these will fit on here, and I know it's an eye pin. 3, 4, and 5. So let me get these on. And I'll show you how we're going to improvise and make this work, because it can. You may have an issue where something weird happens like that. I mean, those head pins were all in the same package. I don't know why one was so much thicker than all of the rest, but here's what we're going to do. We're just going to make it work. We're going to roll this back and make a loop, and we're going to do 1 more with this eye pin. Get them on here. Come on, don't tell me. Tell me you won't go on this eye pin. I'm about to rage quit, guys. Seriously. 1. I don't think I have any more rondelles this size in my stash either. 2. This color. Okay, 3 went on successfully. 4. Well, here's the little one. This one's the one I'm worried about. Oh, good. Okay. All right. It's working out. It's going to be okay. 90 degrees. Trim it up. Roll the loop. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take 2 of the little copper ones out of our little copper spacers, and we're just going to create another little dangle, and I'm going to hang it from that. Just make a cute little dangle on the end of it, and it will be okay, because all I have are eye pins in rose gold that will fit those little things. So look here what we can do. There's always a plan B. I mean, always a plan B. This will be cute on there. There we go. This made a cute little dangle. Okay, my camera quit recording. I mean, really, what else can go wrong, you know? Let's bend this one over. I did another necklace earlier today, and that video had a bunch of technical difficulties, so I ended up scrapping it. So you'll see it in the finished jewelry update, but it did not get a tutorial. It did, but it's not going up online. So yeah, it's been kind of a rough day for me in tutorials for some reason. Alright, there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab some little jump rings, and I can use the small ones for these because these rings are so much smaller. And we're going to attach them to the ring. So the first thing I'm going to put on right now, see what we got. We've got rose gold chain, rose gold, okay, and these little ones. And I should have one more of the smaller chain. There it is. Alright, so I'm just going to put it on first. I'm going to put the small chain on. And this is a little fiddly. You can see why I did not want to go with little monofilament strands to do this part. It would have just been crazy hard. Put this guy on. Just like that. Go with the rose gold chain. Then we'll do our little garnet. Okay, then we'll go with this bigger copper chain, the one that came in the Bargain Bead box, which I've used all of now. I've used all the chain, I've used all of the little coin beads, I've used all my garnet beads, all of the hex beads. So I really got a lot of use out of this Bargain Bead box this month. I've really enjoyed it. And we'll put these bicones on, and I still have some of the bicones left, but these actually are not the same bicones that you all got, because mine didn't. I got 2 orders of the hex beads and only one, or none of the bicones. It was just an oversight, I'm sure. And I don't mind it, it's fine. But there we have that. So now we're just going to take our ear wire, hang it directly on our ear wire, and look at it. It's adorable. Oh my gosh, I love it. Cute little tassel earring. And we're just going to do the same thing with the other side. But yeah, I didn't get the bicones in my box, and I know their customer service there is insanely good. I know if I emailed them and told them that I didn't get the bicones, they would send them right out to me, but I'm not going to I'm not going to do it. I just pulled some bicones out of my stash that I thought resembled pretty well the ones that you guys got. So it's all good. All right, there's that one. Now, I want to mirror these, so I'm going to hang this in the same order, and then I'm just going to flip it so that it mirrors. Not that you can really tell. I mean, it's a tassel. You can't really tell, but that's just the way I do it. I like to mirror them. All right, so we had that one, that one. Let me see what we had over here. And then we had, it looks like this rose gold chain. Rose gold next. Then I think I had the garnet. Yep, the little garnet one. Okay, and then the thicker copper chain, and then our bicones. So we've got the thicker copper chain here. And our bicones last. And then all I'm going to do is flip the entire thing around like this and hang it on the ear wire so it mirrors the other one. Just like that. So then when you see them side by side, the bicones, see how they mirror? You've got your bicones. And like I said, it doesn't really matter because it's a tassel, but I just like to do that. So there are our cute little earrings. Oh my goodness, they turned out adorable. And here is our beautiful necklace, our tassel. So I'm going to throw them both up on a form here, and I will be right back. Okay, so please ignore the mess in the background. Here is our beautiful tassel necklace and earrings. And the tassel is actually longer than this, but I've got it clipped in the back, so it'll stay on the form. But it'll actually hang down probably way more like down to here. But I think this turned out really, really pretty. I love the sparkle. Look at that, the sparkle in this. And the little earrings just mirror it perfectly. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like I said, if you want to subscribe to Bargain Bead Box, I will have the information in the description box below. And you can get $2 off if you use that coupon code. And I'm going to get busy and get some things done. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.